two most populous countries on earth, India and China. I'm Paulo Kennedy. Beside me is Juanito Henson, the man they call the Dean of Basketball in the Philippines. And while both these countries have over 1 billion people, when it comes to basketball, it's China who are the superpower. And while some people think that this may be a case of mission impossible for India, Juanito, you think maybe that's not quite the case?
When you go back to what happened in the 2014 FIBA Asia Cup, as you see the fixtures for today, and Iran beating Korea, Japan beating Qatar, talking about the 2014 FIBA Asia Cup, that was a tournament where India upset China 65-58. So that is possible, India beating China.
It was a momentous occasion for Indian basketball, just as it was for Japan earlier, beating Qatar to enter the Final Four for the first time in 18 years at this tournament. Let's see if India can produce an even greater upset tonight. We're in Changsha. It's quarterfinal time. It's India taking on China. We'll see the teams introduced in a minute. China undefeated in this tournament. India coming through with some tough victories, particularly a big win over Palestine, which powered them into the quarterfinals for the first time in 12 years. And we talk about the Indian starters, they're about to be introduced. But Juanito, there's some concerns around the bench production for India.
That's a serious issue. Bench situation of India, and against the Philippines, which was India's last game, they lost 99-65. They were badly outscored from the bench, 52-3. And in that loss by India to Japan, 83-65, the bench didn't contribute a single point. They were wiped out 25-0. There's 4 players in India averaging at least 30 minutes, so heavy minutes concentrated on that man, Amjot Singh, as well as Amrit Pal Singh, Brigovanchi and Parry. Those 4 players average at least 30 minutes a game. And for Coach Prakash, that's a big challenge. How do you get your bench to contribute in a game where you're focused on your starters?
Chinese coach Gong Lu Ming had a big challenge in front of him, getting China to bounce back after a 5th place finish at Manila 2 years ago. They need to win tonight to better that result. Can they get it done?
Big question here for China, of course. You can't say they haven't been tested, because in that game against Korea, Korea led 38 minutes out of the 40 minutes, but yet China pulling through 76-73. So this is a team that has risen to the challenge of beating Korea. They can feel it, that sense of making it to the semifinals. And if they do, they'll be matched up against Iran.
It will be a matchup of the powerhouses. There is Gong Lu Ming, the Chinese coach. His team has been on song so far this tournament. And now we'll pause for the national anthems, starting with India. It's always one of the most popular parts of the evening here at Changsha when the Chinese national anthem rings out. So much pressure on this team whenever they play at home, but so far this tournament they haven't played like it, unlike some previous reincarnations of the Chinese team who have seemed weighed down by expectations. This young Chinese team has played with aggression, they've played relentlessly, and no doubt their pressure defense will test out these three men tonight. Our referees from Lebanon, the Philippines, and Japan. And I'm Paul O'Kennedy, I'm joined by Quinito Henson. And Quinito, that pressure defense, how much of a test is that going to be for India tonight?
It's going to be tough for India against that pressure defense that China likes to apply. And talking about India, here's the lineup. And we said that the four of these players, averaging at least 30 minutes, Brigovanchi, Amjot Singh, Amritpal Singh, and Pari. Big scorer, of course, is Amjot Singh. He's averaging 23 points and 9.5 rebounds. Key on number 22.
He's known as Superman for India. He's known as Air Amjot. He has been superb so far in this tournament, averaging 24 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists and 2 blocks. And what about Yadwinder Singh there, the small forward? Is he an important piece in the puzzle for India?
I think he might be an X factor in this game. He certainly needs to contribute. He needs to ease the pressure off the regular starters. And Amritpal Singh, he's going to be tested big time because he plays the 5 spot. And you know that's the strength of China.
It's the Great Wall of China. There's 4 players, 213 centimeters and above. Are we going to see them going inside from early and often?
I think so. And we talked about the lack of depth of India. Well, let's talk about the depth of China. No player averaging 30 minutes in this roster. 9 players averaging at least 15 minutes. And 5 players hitting at least 50% from the field. That's depth.
Some people say, do they have a go-to guy? Is there one amongst that starting 5?
Any one of those can be go-to guys. I think China has developed a camaraderie within the system, built around that man, Yi Jianliang. He's the inspiration of this team. You need a basket, of course. He's the ultimate go-to guy when you're China. But we've also seen games where Yi Jianliang has deferred to his teammates, facilitating and passing.
You know what else I like about this Chinese team is that in the past, players like Yao Ming and Yi Jianliang, they've thrown the ball inside to them and just expected them to make something happen. Whereas this team, under Gong Lu Ming, it's a team unit. They move the ball, they create shots for each other, and while Yi is the leading scorer, he's not left to create those against 2 and 3 defenders like he has been in the past.
That's true. And as far as Yi is concerned, he's the only double-figure scorer for China. So you know that there's a lot of ball movement in China. They're getting a lot of touches with different players, and that depth has been a major factor in propelling China to the only unbeaten record in the FIBA Asian Championships, a record that they hope to take all the way to the finals, perhaps.
If they win tonight, as we see Amjot Singh, the main man for India, whichever team wins tonight will go through to face Iran in the semi-finals, and if it's China, it will be a marquee matchup. And how about some keys to victory from each team, Quinito?
Well, it started off with India. I think they need to stretch the clock, and that's important for the team that has lack of depth. Number 2, I'm thinking that maybe Amjot Singh might want to play the 3 position. If he does that, then he may be able to create a mismatch for himself. Or if he plays the 4, then maybe he can draw out some bigs from China towards the perimeter where he is a big-time scorer. Thirdly, for India, they want to push the bigs out of their comfort zone, but they've got to stay out of foul trouble because, again, heavily reliant on their starters is India.
And for China?
Well, for China, I think they need to put a man on Amjot. He's their big-time scorer. He had 32 points against Palestine, 26 points against Hong Kong, 26 points against Iran. So you know that he's going to put up big numbers. A man in Amjot, maybe it could be Lee Gun. Down the stretch, maybe it could be Lee Gun even during the first period. Let's see what happens. Also, they need to make that extra pass inside for the power finish and go. You like him to take charge.
He has been taking charge so far this tournament. Coming off the bench, Go Wai Lun. He's backing up number 4, Zhao Ji Wei. But for the moment, it's Brigawanchi running the point guard for India, and he has been a standout in this tournament as well. He nearly had a triple-double in India's win against China at the FIBA Asia Cup. As there's Amjot Singh, and China would be very pleased. Zhou Peng forcing him into a tough shot to start the evening. So we see a 2-3 zone from India, and Amjot gets his hand on the ball there, 17 on the shot clock.
Paul, we were talking about Go taking charge. He's not starting here for China. Zhao Jiwei, Go's teammate with the Liaoning team in the Chinese league, starting in place.
How about that for a start from the big man, Zhou Qi? Just 19 years of age, 217 centimeters, and arms like an anaconda. And see the pressure there from Zhao Jiwei. And you talk about Zhao and Guo, what a combination they make. One's dogging the opposition point guard. He has a rest. The other one comes in and doesn't drop a beat.
A tremendous pressure being kept here by China, particularly from the backcourt. And now this man, Zhao Jiwei.
Zhao Jiwei buries the two. He got the screen from Zhou Qi, and they were the only two players in that team last year that lost to India who returned to this unit.
And I bet they have that in mind in this game. Zhao Jiwei and Zhou Qi, they're playing right now. They're on the floor. They've got that loss to India on their minds in this game.
Well, Yadwinder Singh has points on his mind. He buries a triple. The first basket of the evening for India as they continue in this zone. This time a 3-2, so a little bit of a mix-up from India early. So far, keeping China on the perimeter. As we see, you talked about foul trouble. The big fella, Amritpal Singh, he puts his hand up. He says, my bad, because he knows his team can't afford him to get into foul trouble.
And this formation of China, they're not going to the low block, not yet. Earlier we saw a friendly reminder from Zhou Qi hitting the medium-range jump shot.
Amritpal Singh makes up for his earlier mistake. He gets the steal. He's inadvertently put Zhou Jiwei on the floor. And Zhou Peng commits the foul.
And man down on the other end.
Yeah, that's Zhou Jiwei. He copped an inadvertent elbow. You see it right there after he'd secured the steal. Certainly, that slow motion replay makes it look worse than it was, but there was certainly nothing intentional about that. Nevertheless, he's got some stars in the eyes at the moment. And just got a small break while he makes his way back down the court. Almost 2 minutes gone. It's been a good start for India. Sometimes in this tournament, China have a double-figure lead by this stage. Here's Brigawanchi, tough dribble move, and it's out of bounds. And so often we've seen Zhou Peng getting a tough defensive assignment. Tonight, guarding the point guard for India.
And in that formation of India, we saw Amjot Singh actually floating outside, playing the 3 position instead of the 4. Let's see whether they'll stick with that alignment of India.
Dribble call. Zhou Qi thought that Amjot had got a hand inside. The referee did not agree.
And so far, one of the keys to victory that we talked about, pushing the bigs out of their comfort zone, that seems to be working here for India, out of that 2-3 zone.
And interesting to see Zhou Qi guarding Amjot Singh. Yi Jianlian guarding Amritpal Singh as a turnover from India. And were you expecting those two front court matchups?
Well, you know, it all depends on the combinations on the floor. But yes, now that these players are on the floor, you would expect that kind of a matchup. And India turning the ball over. India is #1 among the quarterfinalists in most turnovers. And I think China has that in mind too.
Yadwinder Singh, he hit the first basket for India. He gets the steal. He motors down the court and he finishes. What an enterprising start from Yadwinder.
Oh, we talked about him earlier on. We said he could be the X factor in this game. So far, so good for Yadwinder.
There he is, hustling on defense, covering the perimeter, covering the post. And Ripko with another steal, and Yadwinder cleans it up. Here's Brigawanchi inside to Amritpal. Soft shot that rims around, it drops. Despite the best efforts of Zhou Qi trying to swat it away, and India lead 7-4. They persist with this 2-1-2 zone or a 2-3 zone. They're hustling and sliding and covering Zhou Peng to the pull-up jumper, and it's good. And after he missed some time earlier in the tournament, he's picked up like he wasn't out at all.
So he's got a nice mismatch there against Brigawanchi, so he's going to be scoring over him.
Foul called on you, battling down low with Amritpal, and you see that The small forward for China guarding the point guard, the power forward guarding the center, and the center guarding the power forward. So both sets of coaching staff obviously doing their homework, trying to figure out the best matchups tonight.
Or putting some defensive pressure, but yes, looking for mismatches and Lee Gunn. We talked about him, we were anticipating a matchup between him and Amjad, but he's there defending Yadwinder, who has been hot for India so far.
We talked about Lee Gunn perhaps being a gun defensive matchup as Joe Pang feeds it to Yi and he finishes through contact. Tough play inside from Yi, and he gives his team the lead by 1.
We were expecting a power finish, but 2 points just the same. Again, one of our keys to victory for China, you make the extra pass inside, you want that power finish.
Nice move from Rippel, but falls just short. Crowd certainly get excited here as Jiaoji Wei flies inside. Was waved away, but Rippel just made sure of it as well. Have a look at the speed. Blew past Parry. Drew the foul. And the two young point guards for China, they play with boundless energy. Here's Yi inside against the zone. Left hand this time. Now Rippel doing an excellent job in the middle of that zone so far. He has 2 steals.
And 2 personal fouls against Yi Jianliang, if we're not mistaken. Yes, that is. That's the second personal foul.
That was a sloppy foul, trying to recover a lost ball. But so far, the planning for India has gone as well as they could have hoped, and they're within a point. We're almost halfway through the first half.
A slow down game here for India. We did say that we expected it to stretch the clock. Here's a steal by China. Want to pick up the pace, there's a foul from behind.
Well, Harry complains about the foul, but it was a good result because Jiaoji Wei is at his best in the open court. And you said one of the keys to victory, make the game long, make the possessions long, and India have done that so far.
That 2-3 zone defense being played by India is making China rethink how to attack it.
You see him sliding around, and Rippel, he'll defend the middle, he'll step up to the high post if needed, slide down to the low post, and Joe Peng can't get that one to go, so again, China struggling to find the answers.
And for China, the fact that he took another outside shot and not getting the ball in the hands of the big guys, that's good for India. That's exactly what India wants.
That one's come off, and Rippel seeing it will be a China ball. But a little bit hushed around the stadium here tonight. It has been deafening here at Changsha at times because China base their game around pressure defense. The crowd rides their energy, and then as soon as they get the ball, they're up and away to the other end as Zhou Qi bumps Amjad out of the way and finishes with 2. That was a power move from the big fella. In fact, it was Rippel, and he copped a shoulder right in the solar plexus. He's just having a seat to catch his breath at the moment. And we got a timeout to India as we see this move. Nice up fake. Just dropped the shoulder into Rippel as he stepped forward. And then a nice soft touch from Zhou Qi. We've been playing 5.5 minutes. It's China 10, India 7. Well, the big crowd in Changsha came here hoping for a blowout, but so far it's been that team from India who have made a start that is exactly what their coaching staff would have wanted. They're being disciplined in the half court. Yadwinder Singh has stepped up. They've relied so much on their big 3 in particular with Parry and Yadwinder, the X factors in the starting 5. But Yadwinder, you know, he's had a good international career. Perhaps this tournament hasn't had the amount of numbers he would have liked, but he's been shooting 50% from long range. He's been pulling in 5 rebounds in just 22 minutes per game. So he's been an important part in India, making it to the quarterfinals for the first time in 12 years. There's Parry inside to Amjot. First good look for him, and he drops it in high off the glass. Well, he threw the up fake. I thought he passed up the good opportunity, but he still made it go. Such is his talent.
Great patience that time in the half-court set for India. And if you're India, that's the kind of shot you want to take. A lot of touches, keeping the defense of China moving, and then using your lateral quickness, going from 3 to the 4 spot.
Good to the pull-up. He's been an impressive player for China so far. He gets his account on the board, and the Chinese lead is 3.
Right now, China badly needing some energy from the players on the floor. Li Gun would certainly provide that. So will this man, Zhao Jiwei. He takes the board.
He takes off in transition. Foul called on Brigo Wanchi. That's the 4th team foul already. We've still got 3:25 until quarter time. And we haven't seen Guo Lun yet, but both he and Zhao, when they get that ball there in some sort of rush to get to the other end. Here's Zhou Peng. A little bit of high ball screen against this zone defense. He with the extra pass. Peng. Zhou Peng from the corner. And he is such an important part of this Chinese team. He's shooting the ball at 56% from long range as Zhao Jiwei forces another steal. Here is Zhou Peng. Offside dribble. Drives to the left hand and finishes. Zhou Peng showing off his skills.
Athleticism shown there by Zhou Peng, putting the ball on the floor, finding the easy access to the basket. But what about the tough defense now being played by China, forcing repeated turnovers?
Parry from long range. He gives India some thrust with an 18-foot jump shot. He keeps the margin at 6. And you said that China needs some energy in their defense. Well, they have found it after that timeout. Power move inside. Got it to go. That's a foul on Amjot Singh. That's his first.
Ordinarily, when your key player like Yi Jianyang picks up 2 personal fouls very early in the game, you'll want to sit him down, but not Yi Jianyang. He wants to stay in the game. He wants to make sure that things are pretty much in control here for China.
Well, it was an interesting time when he picked up that second foul because the game was on India's terms, and the coaching staff would have been happy had Yi Jianliang come out of the game. They would have seen that as a big win, and it would have just put a little bit of doubt in the Chinese players' minds as well, being behind, having their star on the bench. But with those 2 free throws, Yi extends the lead to 8.
And Zhai coming in for Zhao Peng, who did a pretty solid job on the floor.
7 points for Zhou Peng.
What about interchangeable pieces? And Zhai and Zhou Peng playing almost exactly alike. Oh,
alley-oop to Amjot. It wasn't exactly as they planned, but it dropped through the basket for 2 points. Amjot up to 4, the margin at 6. There's Zhai from the corner. And China are starting to have a 3-point party here in Changsha.
Well, that's the shot that India's giving up. The outside shot, playing with a 2-3 zone defense, and China recognizing that they need their shooters on the floor.
And Rippel inside. Another tough shot from India just to keep in touch. So far, China 7 of 8 from 2-point range, 2 of 3 from the perimeter, and 2 of 2 from the foul line. So how about that for efficiency? How about that for efficiency? Li Gun, the man who hit his first 9 3-pointers of the tournament, he's settled back to a still respectable 57%. As we see Wong Che Lin.
And as usual, Li Gun getting the crowd going. He hasn't missed at all in this game so far, going 2 out of 2. He's a guy who really can light it up from the outside in the Chinese league, hitting 46% from 3-point distance for the Beijing Ducks, who won the championship in the CBA, the Chinese Basketball Association, last season.
Kaushik into the game for India, replacing Parry, who gets a break. Here's Amjot, one-on-one with Zhou Qi. What a pass inside to Rippel, but it doesn't drop. Tapped away by Zhou Qi. How about the skills of Amjot on that pass? Zhai, long inside, but he's travelled. The referee spotted a shuffle of the feet. And proper break. But it's an interesting matchup at the other end. We see Zhou Qi guarding Amritpal with that length and athleticism that Zhou Qi has, but Amritpal has the three-point shot. Sorry, Amjot has the three-point shot. Does he need to take it outside and try and stretch the big man?
Well, exactly what he had in mind that time. Big man way outside.
Miss there for Amjot, and the margin is out to 10. Dangerous times here for India. They need to lock down and get some stops, but Lee Gunn has other ideas. This time he misses. Jay Lim trying to recover the offensive board, but to no avail.
A 10-point lead enjoyed by China, but it seemed like it's been close, much closer than what the scores indicate.
It has been a tight ball game. India have executed how they wanted. They've played slow half-court basketball. China just sneaking away through some hot shooting. They've barely missed in this half as Brigawanchi out to Amjot. Second attempt from long range, and this one misses. Amritpal finding underneath, and here's Guo. Watch out for Guo Ai-Lin. When he looks at the clock, he sees there's just 7 seconds to go till three-quarter time. He wants the last shot. He dances between the legs. He dances into the lane. And he draws foul number 2 on Amritpal. Nice move inside from Guo Ai-Lin.
We'll talk about Guo Ai-Lin taking charge. You watch it here. Using the left hand to put the ball on the floor and then challenging the big man, squeezing his weight towards the basket and drawing the foul. We call him kid lighting. Man, he's got speed.
I don't think Amritpal Singh has defended too many players with that sort of speed. Guo Ai-Lin almost ran into his off arm because Amritpal just wasn't ready for him to arrive yet.
You know, also the court awareness of Guo Ai-Lin. I mean, he took that shot with 0.8 of a second left in this quarter. He knew exactly when to release.
He's one man who's squarely in All-Star 5 discussions at the moment. As he makes both free throws. India needing a miracle from here. Long to Yadwinder. The fadeaway is just short. That was some good execution at the end from India. They've executed well so far this quarter. They had 15 points on the board. They played some good defense, but China were red hot from inside. They were red hot from outside, and they lead it by 12.
Well, they've certainly made it competitive in India. Although behind by 12 points, they're not doing too badly. Take a look at what's happened so far. China already with 3 3-point shots converted, and India with 1. But India, well, China shooting 87% from 2-point distance. In the rebounding story, China dominating the boards. In the assists, pretty much even. Turnovers, exactly even. And India with 1 more steal. It's been competitive. It's been a highly entertaining first quarter so far.
Well, India with just 3 defensive rebounds, but China have only missed 3 shots. That's
exactly, that's why.
Your opposition's rebounding numbers down as there's Brigawanchi, the important team leader. And this was Yadwinder Singh. That was a tough shot to open proceedings for India. He limped back down the court. He made a steal and another tough basket as we see Amritpal making his presence felt just as his coach had urged. And there's Yadwinder with his second one. It was an excellent start from him. But China picked up the defense. Zhao Jiwei and Zhou Peng. And there is, look at that finish on the left hand from Zhou Peng. This time he drives in and squares up and nails it. He's had a great start. 7 points in the first quarter. This man had a great start as well. 5 points. He hit his first 2 shots. And there was that unorthodox alley-oop to Amjot.
Shot selection has been excellent for China so far. Overall, they're hitting 77% from the floor, from 3-point distance 60%, from 2-point distance 88%. You couldn't ask anything more from this team. They've already chalked up 27 points in just 1 quarter, slowly breaking down India's defense.
We're ready to go in the second quarter here at Changsha. It's China leading by 12, and I'm Paulo Kennedy, joined by Quinito Henson. As we see Zhou Qi on the first move of the second quarter. Here's Jai Xiao-Chung with a 3-point basket, and all of a sudden, China has doubled India's score. It's 30-15. Now, Quinito, you talked about bench points at the start of this game as Amjot misses once again from range. So far, 13-0 to China from the bench.
Exactly. And in the first quarter, it was 10-0, and then a three-point basket from Jai, making it 13-0. That's been an issue on India. The fact that they're not getting points from their bench.
Jaylin inside to the left hand. Tough finish from Wong. And things are starting to get nasty for India here.
Well, China hasn't missed at all here in the second period.
It's been a shooting clinic from China. They've missed just 3 shots for the game. As yet, Linda travels. Early in the game, China lacked energy. Their defense wasn't up and in. They were slow offensively. But a couple of quick baskets, Joe Peng with a couple of tough baskets. Li Gun comes in with 5 quick points. And it was like a pressure valve was released, and it's back to the Chinese team we've known.
Exactly, the energy level again sky high. And plus, you have Kid Lightning running the show here for China, Go Ai Lun.
A good test for Go Ai Lun here against the Indian zone, because he's been a standout. He's been shooting 73% from inside the three-point arc, but from outside, just 20%. So can he strike a blow from long range tonight? Because you can bet if they meet India in the semi-finals, they're not going to allow him to score all his buckets from inside. So we see a concern here, perhaps with some blood for Amritpal Singh. He'll take a seat. Arumugam into the ball game for India.
And India hasn't strayed from that 2-3 zone defense. China sitting down Yi Jianliang here in this quarter. 2 personal fouls.
Well on the penetration. Now, can he fix that three-point woes at this time? Long inside, he's stripped by Yudvinder. He goes and gets it again. He goes up and under, but misses. Arumugam just into the game, picks up his first rebound.
And if you're China's bigs, you want to look for that power finish. But the outside shot taken by Go Ai Lun, taken with a lot of confidence, realizing, hey, he's got big offensive rebounders, waiting to just clean up the mess if in case he misses. That time they couldn't get to finish it. Just a short rest here for Yi. I guess they want to keep him sharp, anticipating the big semifinal showdown against Iran tomorrow.
I also suspect that Coach Gong Lu Ming wants to blow this game out quickly so he can rest his stars later on as Ding Yanyu Hung checks into the ball game. Here's Parry, he's back in as well. There's a great story for him in the crucial game against Hong Kong where he missed his first 10 shots. Misses that one there, but he made 3 of his last 4 in the final quarter, just when India looked like they were about to fall out of contention. The quarterfinals as Ding feeds it inside, but some quick hands from Amritpal.
Well, China having a little difficulty breaking that zone defense at times. I think their shot selection has been excellent, especially in the first quarter.
Let's go back to Go Ai Lun. He's been such a star. Is that three-point shooting, will that be a concern for China later in the tournament?
I think they need to be sharpening up on that outside shooting, particularly against Iran's bigs.
And Yi misses that one on the feed from Guo. They've been a dynamic duo so far in this tournament. So have those two, Amritpal to Amjot. They have to retreat out. Some good defense inside from China. Go back into Amritpal. He squares up and fires from long range. And Yi Jianlian looked content to let him shoot that shot. As now he powers into the basket and he jams it on the head of Amritpal. What a play from Yi Jianlian.
That's the kind of power finish we were expecting from Yi Jianlian. Here's the forward pass coming from Go Ai Lun, finding the man. Yi Jianlian with a power finish.
He caught it, he elevated, and he skied over the top of Amritpal, and he jammed it down with authority. We have a timeout here in Changsha. It's China leading by 19. Wow, how exciting was that? He looked like he didn't have his legs under him, and all of a sudden he was way up above rim height.
And that's how you attack the zone defense. You speed up your game. Before the zone defense can set up, you're there attacking the basket. A great forward pass coming from Go Ai Lun. He's got eyes in the back of his head. He's got, what, maybe 4 eyes in front of his head. His court vision is just amazing. He can locate you if you're coming from a corner going strong to the basket. He'll pitch the forward pass, and by the time you get to where you want to be close to the basket, the ball is in your hands. And great court vision.
You know, the other thing about him is that the millisecond the ball turns over from defense to offense, he's thinking 2 points. He's scanning the court ahead of him while he's going at full speed, because he thinks the best basket is one that's scored inside the first 6 seconds of the shot clock.
That's true, and he's looking for a high percentage shot. And you can't get any more high percentager than that kind of a slammer coming from Yi Jianliang.
That was one of the dunks of the tournament so far.
And we've always talked about Go Ailun taking charge, and he certainly has taken charge here. But he's got a new backcourt partner now in Liu Wei, the veteran point guard from China.
Amjot fires from long range. He is struggling to connect from there. He's 0 of 3. Here is Liu Wei. And now the two-man game that's been so successful for China. This time Go Ailun goes to the other side. Ends up with Ding for 3. He can't get it to go in the Chinese ball, but you know, you talk about Stockton to Malone. What about Guo to Yi in this tournament?
It's been a nice connection, certainly. You have a guy like Go, he gives you a lot of options. Not only is he a good facilitator, but he can go strong to the basket. May need to work a little bit on his outside shot, but his overall game is simply outstanding.
It is. He played at the Under-17 World Championships in 2010. He averaged 22 points, 5 rebounds and 6 assists. He led China to a 7th place finish, which was their best ever result at the time. It's been equal. Oh my God, alley-oop pass inside again from Guo to Yi. He says, I was fouled. The crowd says, we don't care, we loved it.
We've been talking about Go. He's averaging 9.8 points a game. So many players making an impact here for China, and yet only one player is averaging in double figures. That is depth.
Tough shot there from Yadwinder Singh. Faded away under some physical pressure. Look at the skills again from Guo. Oh, what a move to the basket. He faked the behind the back pass, and he laid it up for 2.
Well, he's putting on a show right now for the very appreciative fans here in the Changsha gym.
Outstanding skills from the 21-year-old. Here he is, Liu Wei putting the pressure on, and he forces the turnover. And I guess in private moments before this game, we wondered how long can India keep it close. Things look promising in the first 6 or 7 minutes, but right now they are struggling for answers. Their star, Amjot, is on the bench. He's about to check back in, but it's going to take something special from him to get them back within touch by halftime. Man-to-man defense now for India. Here's Ding. Draws the foul on Arumugam. That's just the first team foul on India. They've played about 3.5 minutes. Sorry, 4.5 minutes in this quarter. And here is that alley-oop. Look at the touch on the pass from Go Ailun. That's a soft finish from Yi Jianliang. It's a timeout here in Changsha. It's China leading 38-17.
Well, China opening up a huge lead here, 21 points. They're getting the job done both offensively and defensively. Take a look at the team leaders so far. For China, it's Yi Jianliang. Picked up those 2 early fouls. But that situation certainly hasn't hampered his aggressiveness. You watch him right here with a power finish coming off that forward pass. And Coach Gong Lu-ming surrounded by his assistant coaches. And Ding, some wonderful images we're getting here. And the action that just transpired. You know, cause for concern for China is turnovers. They're averaging 13.2 turnovers in this tournament so far. And out of the quarterfinalists, they're averaging the 4th most turnovers. So they're really right there in the middle ground. So it's an issue that could be a problem in the semifinals going up against Iran.
There is Yi, 8 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists as well. We saw him against the game against Qatar turn into a distributor. As we said, it's been some excellent team play this year from China as Roy drives to the basket, turns it over. Some good interior defense there from Amritpal and Yadwinder. But some outstanding team systems from China. It allows Yi not to have to worry about scoring every time. He can get the ball, draw some attention, and set up his teammates.
Here's a post up. Yadwinder versus a smaller Go Ailun.
Nice move, doesn't get it to go, and some excellent help in there from Du Wei. India with 5 on the shot clock, and Amritpal turns it over. The foul from Kaushik.
No clear vision on the pass that time. Chinese bigs, very aggressive, very active on the defensive end. As you see the coaching staff of the Philippine team flash on your screens earlier, you also see the Jordan coach Raiko Taraman.
They won earlier today. They'll play off tomorrow with Palestine for 9th and 10th positions. Some conservative man-to-man defense India on this possession. He steps out to one of his favourite spots and he knocks it down. 40 points on the board for China and they lead it by 23.
He's so comfortable on the floor right now. 4 out of 6, and Yi Jianlian taking it from the outside. He's been a monster close to the basket. How do you stop it with that inside-outside attack? And here we go.
Here we go. Off the backboard to Yi. One of the plays of the tournament so far from China. And how about that for unselfishness from Jai?
That's grandstand play here for China. You see the reaction from the Chinese bench. Earlier, we were looking for energy from China. Boy, it's overflowing right now on the floor.
Well, Yadwinder is one of the men giving the most energy to India. He's up to 9 points. He briefly quietens the crowd after that highlight reel play from Jai to Yi Jianlian, who threw down yet another big dunk. Here's Jai now from the corner. And the old saying is give and you shall receive, and that time Jai on the end of a beautiful pass from Du Wei.
Well, excellent execution here on the part of China. Now all cylinders blazing. They're getting a lot of points from different players on the floor. So many offensive weapons, so many options. In India, absolutely no answer.
Here's Brigawanchi. I think he needs to be more involved as the playmaker, and this time he's the shot maker. He knocks down his first triple of the evening. He brings the margin back to 23.
And that's just the first field goal for Brigawanchi, and you know that he's got to be able to step up his offense. He's averaging 15.2 points.
Stand by! Another monster jam from Yi Jianlian, and he is putting on a show tonight.
And who's there to stop him from going sky high for a dunk like that? India avoiding the contact. They don't want to have to foul unnecessarily. I mean, if Yi Jianlian is going up for a shot like that, it'll be useless to foul it.
Yadwinder to the basket. Nice move from Yadwinder. And we said he hadn't scored as heavily as perhaps he would have hoped this tournament. He's up to 11 tonight. He's past his average already. He's one man who continues to tick the scoreboard over for India. But the man who's really getting things done is this man, Yi Jianlian. This time he feeds it to Jai. Extra pass to Zhao, but he travelled. He was excited about splitting the defense. But on this occasion, it's a turnover. And you talk about players who are important to their team, and you look at plus-minus statistics, which is how much your team outscores the opposition when you're on the floor. We see Yi at plus 17 for China, Zhao Jiwei at plus 14, and Guo Ailun at 13. Those players leading the way for the host nation. And having watched the games, that's no real surprise as Amjot draws the foul.
That's impact for you, the efficiency level. And Amjot Singh has been a marked man here from the start. We talked about that as a key to victory for China. Put a man on Amjot. And right now, Zhao is the man on Amjot, and he's hardly getting any good touches.
Well, China going with that smaller lineup, which we saw against Qatar as well. They have just one tall on the floor in Yi Jianlian, and they also have Ding and Jai in, who are both nominally small forwards, but playing those 3-4 roles here at the moment.
Interchangeable, yes. Here's the outside shot. Oh, got it again.
Well, we said Brigawanchi had to get more involved. He almost had a triple-double against China the last time these teams met at the FIBA Asia Cup, and a couple of big shots for him just to keep this margin within 20. Man-to-man defense from India. Yeah, with the feet inside. Yi is fouled, and at the moment you have to hang on to him or he's going to throw down a power jam.
And the guards of China looking for the big guy. Another combination in on the floor. Go Ailun is sitting down, so they're going with Zhao Jiwei and Lu Wei. That balance in the backcourt giving China tremendous stability. First with a veteran, Liu Wei. You want a controlled game, you go to Liu Wei. If you want a speed up game, then you go to Zhao Jiwei. As you take a look at the two bigs from China.
They're sitting there thinking, Coach, don't fall in love with this small lineup too much. We want to get back out there.
Maybe they're thinking about Iran in the semifinals. Wang Jielin, you saw him there, and Zhou Qi, two of the stratospheric Great Wall of China.
Good pressure defense here from Ding and from Du Wei. Shot clock under 10. That's called a double dribble. Du Wei, he may not be the youngest man in the tournament at 35 years of age, but I reckon Gong Lu Ming has said to him, if you want minutes, you got to play.
You got to earn them.
Up and in defense.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Zhao, just like Guo.
Well, he's been struggling in offense, and spot on what you're saying, because if that offense isn't there for Lu Wei, he's got to be able to contribute in other departments to earn his minutes. Maybe playmaking, maybe defense.
There's Zhao for three. He misses that one. How's this? He hit only one of his first 5 3-pointers in the tournament. He hit 4 of his next 5 coming into this game as Du Wei picks up a foul. That'll be number 5 for China, and free throws to come for Parry. In fact, that's foul number 4, so the next one will put China into the bonus. But you know, after missing 4 of his first 5, he hit 4 of his next 5, so he's obviously riding a wave of confidence.
The important thing is consistency. And here we're at the home stretch of the FIBA Asian Championships. Now's the time for you to test or to prove yourself.
Big block inside from Yi, then he intimidates a second time. China away.
And we were looking for a power finish from China. Well, India badly needed a power finish that time.
Pick and pop to Yi. It's bread and butter for China. And it's 2 more points. They are up to 51. And we're not even at half-time yet. Brigawanchi fires again. This time he's off. He hit his last 2. Zhao Jiwei, he's off to the races. He scores. He's fouled. China putting on a clinic in Changsha tonight.
It's like the dam has burst. And the flood is massive here at the Changsha Gym, China. All guns blazing. And they're not just getting points from Yi. I mean, you know how dominant he is. He's got his 16 points, but a lot of players contributing in the offense. They're running the break, they're hitting the outside shots. Plus, the backcourt players, the guards, are putting the ball in the hands of guys who can score high percentage shots. What efficiency.
8 Chinese players have already scored in the ball game. Now they're putting on the defense. Nice pass from Amjot to Parry, and that's his range. He's money on the mid-range shot, and we've got 13 seconds until half-time. China have put on a show for their fans so far. Have they got one last treat left here in the first half as Du fires from mid-range. Oh, Zhao Jiwei with the attempted tip. Will it count? The referees consult. They have a look at each other and they say, we're going to watch the replay on this one.
Might have gotten off the shot on time, but yes, they will look at the replay. I'll check out exactly if there was time left.
And I don't think he's got that off. He hasn't.
No. Oh yes, they counted.
They counted it. Well, they were watching a different replay to me there, Cornito, because clearly it looked like it was still in his hand. But the decision has been made, and it's been made by China in this first half with their aggressive play. It's half-time. They lead 56-29.
Well, you have to be impressed with the kind of game that China has displayed so far. You weren't impressed in the first few minutes of this game. I thought India did a good job of stretching the minutes. You take a look at the 2-point percentage here of China, 73% shooting. And from 3-point distance, they've knocked down 5. India's knocked down 3. From the free throws, 7 out of 7 for China. They haven't missed. And India hasn't even gone to the line. Rebounding story, +7 for China. And the assists, they're also up in that department. Turnovers, 11 for India. And the steals, 1 more for China. It's been total domination by China in this game so far.
Well, after 5 minutes, China led 8-7. They had trailed 7-6. And since then, they have been on some sort of run. They have scored 48 points to 22 in the following 15 minutes. It's been a clinic. We see the rebound leaders. There haven't been a lot of shots missed by China. They missed 3 in the first quarter. They'd be disappointed they missed 8 in the second quarter. They are 22 of 33 from the field at halftime, 7 of 7 from the free throw line. It's been just outstanding efficiency.
And for India, the missing link, Amjad Singh. He's a man who's averaging 23 points a game. He's their big-time scorer. So far, just 4 points in this contest.
It's a 27-point margin. China now looks certain to move on and play Iran in the semi-finals. We thought maybe that would be the final matchup, but the Philippines had other ideas with their big upset win over Iran. And look at this man. He looked a little upset early on, and so he took it out on Amritpal Singh with one of the biggest dunks of the tournament. He crammed it on his head with 2 hands.
And it's not just the elevation of Yi Jian, it's the power.
And there's the finesse on the lovely feed from Guo Lun. Coach Prakash could only watch on and grimace. Yadwinder Singh gave him good service in the first half. He's got 11 points to lead India. But how about that play from Guo? And then Jai Xiao Chun from the corner with the 3.
And the key, of course, to those plays, the passing of China.
And what about that pass off the backboard from Jai for the big kill from Yi? Here we see it. What a selfish play.
So far, the play of the game, off the backboard, and then the 2-handed slam dunk from Yi Jian. That brought the house down, for sure.
And that finished it off from Jai Xiao Chun, a 27-point ball game. It was a 29-point second quarter from China, and they lead 56-29. Welcome back to Changsha. We're almost ready for the second half, and it was a Chinese explosion in the first half, led by Yi Jianlian. He started off at the defensive end, and time after time, he finished it off at the offensive end. Here was one of his 3 monster jams, as he almost had to duck his head to avoid the rim. And look at this pass from Jai to his superstar big man. You think the crowd here in Changsha didn't enjoy that one. He's been working up a sweat. He earned a break at half-time. Now he's ready for the second half. I'm Paulo Kennedy. I'm joined by Cornito Henson. And how can India turn this around?
Well, you go back to the keys to victory we talked about at the top of our coverage. For China, we said man on Amjad. That's working. Amjad 2 out of 8 so far from the floor, 25%. We looked for the extra pass for the power finish. We've been seeing a lot of power finishes. We're also seeing a lot of assists for China, 13 already in the game, as against 7 for India. And finally, Go taking charge. When he was on the floor, he really took charge. 2 assists so far, no turnover. Go is not starting here in the second half, and he didn't start in the first half either.
But Joe Chi is, and he comes up with a big block to start the second half. Yu Wei getting a start in the second half as that pass eventually gets inside, but yeah, Binder will come up with it. You look from an Indian perspective, this man, Brigawanchi, has been important. He hit 2 3-point bombs. He also handed out 5 assists, and he nails another from long range. Brigawanchi up to 9 points. And so of India's 14 field goals, he's hit 3 of them and assisted 5 of them. So a quality start from their point guard.
Again, that 2-3 zone defense being employed by India.
Here's Liu looking to feed to Joe Chi. We go again inside. That's a tough running shot. Amjot comes up with the board. Here's Parry away in transition. It's a 3-on-2 opportunity. Brigawanchi draws the foul. Amjot Singh, we talked about him only having 4 points, but he's only got 2 rebounds. He's one of the better rebounding power forwards in this competition. He averages 11 per game. And he's got to get his work done on the glass for India to have any chance of getting back into this game. Yeah, with the Singh with the trouble, some tough defense there from Ding Yanyu Hung.
I think the adjustment here of Coach Prakash, which you see on your screens, in getting Amjot to play offense from the outside, playing the 3 position, to try to bring Joe Chi out with him, has limited his capability to get rebounds. And there you go with the rebound.
Yeah, Joe Peng has the capability of hitting that shot. He misses. Here's Brigawanchi with another feed inside. Oh, but Joe Chi again blocks the shot. Yadwinder. What a performance so far from Yadwinder Singh. He has, along with Brigawanchi, they have carried their team. He's got 13 points. They trail by 22.
Well, we called him the X Factor before this game started, and he's certainly living up to that billing.
There he is,
he is again.
What hustle from Yadwinder. He draws the foul. Coming into this game, he was averaging 9 points and 5 rebounds. And playing against what so far has been the best team in the tournament, he has stood tall. 13 points, 4 boards. He's had a steal and a block for good measure, and he's shooting 6 of 9 from the field.
And it's not as though he's not up against a tough defender, because he is. Ding is the man who's taking care of Yadwinder on the defensive end.
Joe Chi again with some good defense on Amjot Singh. He is showing another string to his bow tonight as Liu Wei pulls up from mid-range. 2, 3 Chinese players on the offensive boards, and it's Joe Chi who taps it in.
And Joe Chi probably telling Wang Jielin, pull your heels over the bench and let me just show what I can do here.
He's a 19-year-old, but he's certainly put himself forward as the primetime center for China. Here's Joe Peng, bounce pass through. It's been deflected off Ding, and it'll be an Indian ball. And China have been pretty good looking after the basketball so far tonight, but that's turnover number 8 for them.
We talked about that turnovers plaguing China in this tournament, and that's something they need to be concerned about moving forward to the semifinals against Iran.
Liu Wei, he just doesn't look comfortable running those pick and roll and pick and pop situations. Not as comfortable as his younger teammates at the point guard position, as he is one of his young teammates just firing casually from 12 feet and burying it.
It's going to be easy to... No, it won't be an easy 2 points. Oh, I was just going to say an easy 2 points there for Brigawanchi.
There have been few easy baskets against China in this building over the past couple of weeks, and Joe Peng keeps that tradition going. Here he goes at the other end, feeds it off to Yi for the jam. What a pass inside from Joe Peng. Yi is fouled.
And China finding the crease in that zone defense of India.
Pass just dropped it off to the big man. He bobbled it in midair, it didn't matter. He still threw it down.
But you got to be impressed with the pass to Yi Jianyang and the ability to penetrate that defense and finding the big guy for the jam.
Second assist of the night for Joe Peng.
China looking very fearsome in this game.
You keep waiting for them just to take the foot off the pedal a little bit, just to start thinking about Iran, as you talked about, but there's been no sign of that yet. And one thing about thinking about Iran, we talk about who will guard Ahmed Ehadade in that matchup? Will it be Zhou Qi, who's a bit thinner, or will it be the strongly built Yi?
There's so many things to talk about in that semi-final matchup.
Well, I think the fact that Yi is guarding Amritpal Singh, the opposition centre, I think that might give us an insight into what Gong Lu Ming will do tomorrow night. Winder fires, this one short. Wei ambles his way up the court. We're almost midway through the third quarter. Zhou Peng looking aggressive. This time he feeds Zhou Qi. Look at the unselfish ball movement from China. An extra pass from Lu Wei. And Zhou Peng rewards him with another three-pointer from the corner. The margin is up to 32.
Drawing a roar from the crowd. And you really like that extra passing coming from China. Lu Wei, he's the playmaker. He wants to make sure everybody gets involved in the offense.
Brigawanchi is the playmaker for India. He's been impressive. 9 points and 5 assists so far. And that time, an impressive dribble move to get himself to the free throw line. Here's the extra passing. There was probably 3 or 4 extra passes on that possession.
So many touches. The half-court set for China until finally going to the man in the corner for the outside bomb.
And just at the end of that replay, you saw the Chinese bench up on their feet. They're 30 points in front, 32 points in front now, but they were still celebrating that play as if it was a tight game.
Wang Jielin now in the ball game, and as Zhou Qi walking back to the bench, you saw Coach Gong Lu Ming talking to him, giving him instructions. Every move that he makes on a basketball court is a learning, it's a building block. It's a lesson to be learned. It's gaining experience for the young man.
8 points, 3 boards, 3 blocks for Zhou Qi. Li Gun, he finds Zhou Peng in the same spot, but this time he can't connect. He goes and gets the ball. Zhou Peng is doing everything tonight. He's making a statement saying, I want that starting small forward position tomorrow night against Iran.
Won a matchup perhaps against Barami. Second opportunity right here for China.
Oh, nice pass inside for Wong. Extra pass to Zhou Peng. And from the other corner, he splashes another one down.
Such a joy to watch. I would say he's a pure shooter, the way Zhou Peng is stroking it from the outside.
They came into this game shooting 56% from long range. He's 3 of 6 tonight. And there he is getting another steal. He's had his hands in everywhere. Zhou Peng, 13 points, 2 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block shot. What a stat line. And just when things are starting to look bad for India, Zhao Ji Wei and Guo Hailun check in together. And that means the speed's going to be coming in both directions from China.
And it's interesting that now Coach Gong Lu Ming has Wang Jielin, the only big guy on the floor. So putting a lot of responsibility in the shoulders of this young man.
Li Gun draws the foul along the baseline, and it's also a test for him because I think from what we've seen from Gong Lu Ming the last 2 nights, he's keen to run this smaller lineup in the 2 games that follow, the important medal round games. And he's seen what Yi Jianliang can do. He's going to see what Wang Jielin can do with this lineup. This time he spins baseline. Shot clock down to 4. Well on the drive, and he turns it over. One of the sloppiest sets we've seen from China tonight as Brigawanchi's layup is slapped away by Li Gun, but illegally. It'll be 2 points for Vishesh Brigawanchi. He's up to 13. He joins Radwinder Singh as the leader for India.
A rare opportunity to run the break here for India because you don't expect them to put the foot in the pedal.
Li Gun at the other end for 3. He can't get this to go. Amjot pulls in a rebound. It's just number 4 for him in that category, repeating that he's been averaging 11 per game over the tournament.
I also noticed that Amjot is now playing much closer to the basket than in the first half. I think he realizes if he's not getting opportunities to score points from the outside, maybe he'll be able to contribute a lot more by just hanging around the basket and getting rebounds.
What pass inside from Brigawanchi, but Amritpal can't finish it, and at the other end, Jai Shao Chun can. It's a dunk party for China. And look at them hustle back. They force a turnover, 33 points in front near the end of the third quarter, and they're hustling back to stop easy baskets for India.
And this is the juggernaut we're witnessing here. This China machine has been so efficient and so devastating.
Oh, nice pass inside from Guo. Wong Chae Lin is fouled by Amjot. That's foul number 2 on him.
Amjot still has to score here in this half.
Well, it's been all China here in the third quarter. We've got 3:04 left to run in the period, and they lead 71-38 as we take timeout. Well, China have been showing off some of their international stars here this evening, led of course by Yi Jianlian. And let's have a look at some of the other stars of international basketball. Yi Jianlian, he's got 21 points, 7 boards, 3 assists. Jai Xiao Chun has been having plenty of fun himself. He's got 13 points and 2 assists. We see him with back-to-back 3-point baskets. He's enjoying himself, and there he is, finishing off the first half with a buzzer beater. And now he's throwing it down with 2 hands as well. He is having fun out here tonight.
It's raining threes, it's raining dunks.
And next they play the reigning champions, Iran. And no doubt they'll be taking copious amounts of notes tonight. There are so many weapons on this Chinese team. They're going to have to figure out a way to disrupt them, because it seems when you take away one thing, they just score another way.
They just have so many options, different combinations. Fielded here by Coach Gong Lu Ming. And for China, they're not doing too badly from the free throw line either.
10 of 10 now from the free throw line, 100%. 60% from the field, 44% from the three-point line. It's certainly been a clinic. And this game was set up by their first quarter where they missed just 3 shots from the field. In the second quarter, they missed just 8. They haven't been going too badly at all.
I think the decision-making has been excellent here for China. When they foul, they're not giving up fouls to put India at the line. They're giving up fouls to disrupt rhythm.
Extra passing again from China, but this time Li Gun can't finish it off. Here's an opportunity for India. Over the head pass from Brigawanchi. Once again, Zhao Ji Wei, he just doesn't want to give up an easy basket. I think he might be allergic to opposition teams scoring. And look at the desperation, the little fella getting upstairs. He got a lot of basketball on that play.
185 centimeters, that's the height of Zhao Ji Wei, and yet skying to prevent the easy 2 points for Amrit Pal.
Who stands at 207
centimeters. Can you imagine that?
And long arms. There's Tab Baldwin. There's Andre Blatch. They're on the other side of the draw. They face Lebanon after this. And of course, after Japan beat Qatar earlier, the winner of the Philippines-Lebanon game will meet them in the semi-finals. It's Japan's first trip to the Final Four since 1997. There's an exquisite team performance from them earlier. This man's been exquisite all tournament long. He feeds to Li Gun, powers his way inside. He can't finish. Wong Chae Lin.
That's a 3-second violation.
He was pump faking. I think he got caught in the rhythm of pump fakes and he couldn't break himself out of it to shoot us. Yi Jianlian has a laugh about it as well.
And that's the point we were making earlier, that the big guys, the young big guys of China earning their minutes here, and every move will be a lesson learned for them as they gain experience in their international careers.
He makes up for it with a block on a Ripel at the other end. Guo kicks it aside. Lee Gun, he's missed his last couple. And it's either flood or drought with Lee Gun from the three-point line.
Yeah.
He hit his first 9 in the tournament. He missed his next 6. Last game he hit a couple of in a row, but so far tonight he hasn't been able to connect. He's just 1 of 4. As Guo Ai-Lun gets the steal, he feeds it to Jai. And Jai is having his own personal rim-rocking party tonight.
But the man who's taking charge here is Guo Ai-Lun because he's making things happen. Again, that speed combination of Coach Gong Lu-Ming on the floor. Yao Ji-wei, Guo Ai-Lun, they're teammates of the Liaoning squad, so they know each other so well.
Brigawanchi from long range, it misses. And the rebound there from Arumagam. That's one of my favourite names in the tournament. He's a big, strong power forward. I've been impressed with some of his hustle. He's 24 years of age. But, he's been averaging 4 points and 3 rebounds, just 7 minutes per game. Hopefully come this tournament in 2 years' time, as I give a guy a rap and he shoots an air ball from the free throw line. But hopefully his game will have developed because a player of his strength and size, they certainly need him to be a contributor.
Let's see maybe adjustment. Oh, it makes a second.
It's a rest for his efforts, and I'm sure he's happy he's not sitting down after an air ball. He made that one in between us. Yadwinder checks back in. He's been the standout probably for India tonight. He's got 13 points, 4 boards. They go inside to Wong Shai Lin. He follows it up. Held ball called. They'll go to China. Wong Shai Lin, 4 points, 5 boards. 16 on the shot clock here for China. They lead it by 35. We've got 45 seconds until three-quarter time. There's Guo. Oh, he shook Parry out of his shoes. Oh, inside. Nice block from Amjot. And that's what that man's capable of doing.
And they threw it away on the other end after a superior effort in claiming possession.
Look at this move, and then the block. How about the timing from Amjot?
And that's been the story of this game. A story of frustration for India. Great defensive job, only to throw it away on the other end.
It seems no matter where they turn, there's a red singlet right there waiting for them. Nice drop off from Guo. One dribble to the left from Wong, but he can't hit it. Last play of the quarter. Here's Brigawanchi. He fires from 3. It's off. One more chance. No. Bounces off the knee of Jai. India with one more opportunity to score. They trail it by 35.
And getting a tap from the behind there is Brigawanchi. One more play, and there it is.
Fade away from Yadwinder is short. And that's all we've got time for in the third quarter. It was another dominant quarter from China. They led by 27 at halftime. They extend that lead out to 35. And after 30 minutes of play, it's China 75, India 40. Some of the leading scorers in this game so far. As we see the stats, 61% from 2-point range for China, 38% from 3-point. It's just dropped away as the game's worn on. Rebounding stats have been relatively even. The assist, look at that, Cornito, 18 assists after 3 quarters.
Oh, great passing here for China. And previously we saw in our graphic, the free throw percentage of China, impeccable, 100%. They haven't missed at all from the free throw line. They've also been hitting their outside shots. Been a long game for India.
It has 21 points from Yi Jianlian, 15 from Jai Xiaochun, and Zhou Peng with 13. For India, Yadwinder Singh with 13, Vishesh Brigavanchi with 13 himself and 6 assists. But everything China touched turned to gold. You look at Zhou Peng, particularly the first 6 or 7 minutes of that quarter. You described them as a juggernaut, and that's exactly what they were.
Well, you have to be impressed with what China is doing right now, both defensively and offensively. So many weapons, so many options. And a high level of intensity being shown here by China. But what you also like about China is the chemistry. I think the players are enjoying themselves. You see there a laugh from Yi Jianliang. I think that might have been the miscue of...
It was. That was
right.
when Wang Shailin threw about 14 or 15 pump fakes and ended up getting a 3-second violation as we tick down until the final quarter. China will go through to the semi-finals, barring a miracle, where they will face Iran in one of the most eagerly anticipated semi-finals in a long time at the FIBA Asia Championship. The two favourites for the tournament, but of course, Tab Baldwin's Philippines, they've got something to say about that, and they'll be up next after this game against Lebanon. There's Zhao Ji Wei with the steal. He waltzes in for two. And if India were hoping that maybe China would take it easy on them in this final quarter, their hopes have already been dashed.
I think every single Chinese player wants to earn minutes, anticipating that big showdown against Iran. So they want to show what they can do here. And not even getting the shot to fall inside for Amritpal. It's been that kind of night for India. And by the way, India has generated only one single point from its bench against 28 for China. We talked about the depth comparison, and it's so obvious in that stat.
Lee Mu-hao has checked into the game, and he shows he knows how to score straight away with a 2-point basket inside. He'll go to the free throw line. Look at this nice feed from Zhao Shan-chung.
And first time on the floor for Lee Mu-hao. He stands 218 centimeters. And some previous games of Lee Mu-hao, we were questioning his ability to be able to position himself close to the basket and then going up for an easy 2 points. But that time, it looked like he's learned his lesson well.
That foul on Amritpal Singh, it's his 5th. He heads to the bench for the evening. He's had a good tournament, but tonight just 5 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 fouls. And shot just 2 of 11 from the field. It was a test for him against the Great Wall of China, and he hasn't been able to come through that one with flying colours tonight.
Well, he's someone who averaged 33.1 minutes before this game. And we talked about how important it was for the Indian mainstays to stay away from foul trouble because of their lack of depth. Well, now they're handicapped severely.
Amjot driving in, he draws the foul. And we haven't seen enough of him isolated at the top. You know, he can go left and right. He's got a speed advantage over most opponents, and I think perhaps they needed to make him more of a focus earlier on in the game.
Well, he certainly lost his focus because that defense of China heavily concentrated on him, and they were playing him denial, couldn't get his looks, couldn't get his position. It's been a difficult night here for Amjot Singh.
One theory when guarding Amjot is put a smaller player on him who can match him for speed because he's not the strongest player. But China went the opposite way tonight. They went with the big man, Zhou Qi. He showed he could slide his feet and he gave him a lot of trouble. So a bit of a master stroke there from Gong Wu Ming. Here's Guo. He's got such great ball handling skills around the perimeter. Here's Deng with a wide open mid-ranger. Brigawanchi comes up with the rebound and draws the foul. So China giving India nothing easy, even though the hosts lead this one by 39 points. We've got 8:33 to play until the end of the game. They are determined to keep doing all the little things right all the way through to their semi-final clash with Iran as Yun picks up a little reaching foul.
China certainly not easing the pressure. Trying to run a ball screen there was India, but the pressure was there from China.
Brigawanchi, he's a clever player. He backs down Jiao Tai Long and gets to the basket. What a nice move from Brigawanchi. And he certainly can hold his head high so far tonight.
Watch that twirl move here on the part of Brigawanchi.
He's averaging 15 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals per game in the tournament.
And he was on that India squad that upset China in the 2014 FIBA Asia Cup. And that was held in China. Here's an offensive rebound, a very rare one for India, taken by Amjad.
Here's Brigawanchi. He had 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists in that game you're talking about, where India overcame their more fancied opponent. This time it's a fast break opportunity. Guo flies to the hole. And he is just unstoppable in the open court. He is so exciting to watch. And what a great test it is coming up for him in the medal rounds. Just 21 years of age. Can he continue to play with that gay abandon that he has in the pool rounds and here in the quarterfinal? Can he take that approach into games against, fellow powerhouse nations?
I think so. I think he's ready for the challenge. And against Iran, I'm seeing that he will be a focal point of the way China runs its offense.
Nice pass inside from Brigawanchi. It doesn't lead to points, but the hustle of Yadwinder Singh does. He's up to 15 points for the night. He brings his team back within 38. Again, ball movement, Guo for 3. He nails it. Finally, he gets a triple to go. And if he's a relieved man, he doesn't show it. He just has the same intense look on his face. And it's 85-44 to China. That one spills out of court. It'll be Indian ball with 6 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
What a luxury here, as you see key players of China sitting down. Zhou Qi, Liu Liwei, and Zhou Peng. We haven't seen him back in action. Again, we were talking about China's interchangeable pieces. You got a Zhou Pei who's sitting down, but then you've got Zhan, or Zhai rather, on the floor. It's almost like Zhou Peng is in the game.
Yeah. Nice move from Brigawanchi, and he finishes. He is a high-quality player. I'm told he hasn't been able to pick up a professional gig outside of India. But as he streaks away here for another 2 points, he is now up to 18 for the game, and surely there's a club out there that would like a man of his talents. He's been outstanding tonight.
Certainly one of the top point guards here in the FIBA Asian Championships, Brigawanchi. Remember his name.
He's 24 years of age, as Hal travels inside, but the talk started today about All-Star 5 selection, and his name was certainly mentioned. Once again, I'm not sure if he'll quite make the final 5, but to have his name in that discussion is a real reflection on how much he's stepped up in this tournament. That's a nice, strong drive to the basket by Govinda Gill. And he's an exciting story. We'll talk about him in a moment as he comes to set the ball screen for Brigawanchi. Strong drive into the basket. He scores again, 20 points for Brigawanchi.
And Go Ai-lun, I mean, he's not waiting for anybody. His teammates, the opposition, he's just going strong from one end of the floor to the other. He's blitzing his way to stardom here in the FIBA Asian Championships.
When he was young, he said, "Mum, what's my name?" She said, "Go," and he hasn't stopped since. That's the way he plays his basketball.
We call him Kid Lightning, and he has certainly been streaking here in this tournament. He wants to change the ball.
He's got 4 points tonight, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, but that doesn't at all go close to summarizing the impact he's had on the game.
Well, we like him taking charge for China. One of the keys to victory we talked about. And he's certainly done that in this game. Although he missed his 2 free throws. He had a 3-point shot earlier.
Yeah, in fact,
he made that.
My statistics screen has frozen, so I gave you some old stats there. He's up to 9 points, but he just does so much else out there on the floor for his team. As the shot clock ticks down to 6, it's been hard work for India trying to score, though this man has made it look easy at times. Brigawanchi with yet another tough basket. He's now up to 22.
I think Jai Tai Long really isn't up to the task of defending against Brigawanchi. Maybe somebody else, but Coach Gong Lu Ming is still sticking to that defensive matchup. And Lee Mu Hao,
he calls the foul. Nice feed inside from Ding.
And there's the fake. And going up for the shot, he was fouled.
It's been a frustrating tournament for Jai Tao Long. Yeah, he's a quality player in the CBA. And he shot 42% from three-point range for Chunzhou in the CBA last season. He's shooting 9% in this tournament. And that just summarizes how things have not worked out for him. It's stiff competition in that 2-3 spot for China. And maybe Gong Lu Ming giving him one last opportunity to prove his worth ahead of the semi-final by saying, see if he can guard Brigawanchi.
Well, here's Go Ailun now defending Brigawanchi. Let's see what happens with this matchup. There's a switch. And a big man on Go Ailun. They're not giving the ball to Amjad Singh in the mismatch. That was because of the switch. A great move by Go Ailun.
Outstanding defense from Go, and Go he does. He dishes to Ding, and he nails the three. Just trademark Chinese basketball, particularly the Chinese team we've seen in this tournament. They're about to register their 7th straight win. They're doing it in style. They're 38 points in front. We talked before the game that sometimes lopsided margins can't be that exciting, but when you've got a team playing the way China does, with the intensity and the unselfishness they are, Yadvinder Singh drops that one over the rim a couple of seconds too late. It's been a good night for Yadvinder though. He's got 15 points, and we've got a timeout here in Changsha. There's 4:25 to play until the end of this one, and China lead 90-52.
Great effort here on the part of China. You can't say enough about what they've shown on the floor, the effort, the intensity level, putting the pressure on India, and unrelenting pressure at that. They're making sure that they've got their minds set to stay competitive all the way to the big semifinal showdown tomorrow against Iran. They want momentum. You see the grimace on the face of Amjad Singh. It's been tough. And close-up look there of that matchup. In the number 5 spot, Amrit Pal and Yi Jian Yang. And then Go Ailun with a scoop pass and the two-handed slam dunk for Jai. And drawing the thumbs up here from coach Gong Lu Ming. Certainly a unique personality in the history of basketball in the world, having played in the Olympics and having also coached in the Olympics. 1988 he was a player, 1996 he was the coach of the Chinese national team. And Lee Mu-hao thought it was a good move earlier when he pump faked and then he went to the line. He didn't shuffle his feet, so he learned from the previous play what he did, and he was called for the travel.
Speaking of Olympic Games, of course, the winner of this tournament qualifies directly for the Rio Olympics next year. The other 3 semi-finalists go into the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament. In fact, there'll be 3 of those tournaments next year as tough move to the basket. It rims out, and it's out of bounds. Will be an India ball. Jai Tao Long driving to the basket, and that little rimmer just continues his tournament of woe. So he's going to have one of the best seats in the house over the next couple of nights. And here's Kaushik on the drive. Tough finish from Kaushik over the top of Wong Shailin.
Down the baseline that time. And yes, he challenged the big man defense of China for a score. But it's a massive lead enjoyed by China at this stage. It's 36 points, the difference between the scores.
Here's Wong along the baseline. Outside to Lee Gun and back in, spinning against 2 players. What a move inside from Wong Shailin.
And Coach Gong Lu Ming going with a new set of twin towers in Lee Mu-hao and Wang Jielin. So no Zhou Qi, no Yi Jian Yang, but still keeping that balance of the twin towers.
Skip past Amjot. It's been a quiet night for him, and that continues here. Ireland away. Now he's got a matchup with Brigawanchi, who's a little too enthusiastic with that double team, and he picks up the foul. 2:50 to play, and it just looks like these Indian players are ready for the ice bath. There's a lot of weight that their starters have to carry as Wong Chae-lin drives down the middle and draws a foul.
And he's been aggressive, going to the hole. That's what you like from these young kids. Twin towers on the floor here for China. Go Ai-lun still in the game, even if the lead is stretched to 38 points. And it's that competitive edge we've been talking about. Everybody anticipating a huge matchup in that semifinal showdown between defending champion Iran and the host nation China. China, the only unbeaten team in the tournament. Iran dealt a loss by upset conscious the Philippines.
And indeed, in terms of results, it's those three teams who stand out from the pack. China with one loss, China with no losses, the Philippines and Iran with just one loss apiece.
Japan coming on strong, however, booking a semi-final seat.
And you can bet Lebanon will come on strong in the game after this as they take on the Philippines. They had a huge victory over the more highly fancied Jordan last night, which secured their place in the quarterfinals. In fact, that was 2 nights ago now.
I think Lebanon is coached extremely well by Coach Matic. Plus, they do have that brilliant naturalized player, Jay Youngblood. Lebanon, the Philippines, that will be a game to seriously watch coming up after this.
Lee going inside, finds Lee Muhao. He's going to go to the free throw line. And I talked about some of these Indian players looking tired. If you look at the leaders in minutes per game, as we see that nice feed from Lee Gun, the leaders in minutes played in this tournament, 4 of the top 15 are Indian starters, which is quite remarkable when you consider it's a 16-team tournament. And so far tonight, it's been a similar story. They've got 5 players up around or over the 30-minute mark. China with nobody in that category.
Yi Jianliang actually before this game averaging a team high 25 minutes. And we did say that 9 players on this China team averaging at least 15 minutes. That's what you call spreading the sunshine.
Spreading the sunshine. They've spread the points, they've spread the love. They've dished out plenty of assists here tonight as Shinde looks to get some points of his own, and Yadinda throws that one up. It's no good. 2 minutes to play until the end of this one, until we can rubber stamp China into the semi-finals. Lee gone for 3 and he buries it. He'll be happy to see that one go through the hole because he's going to want to be firing on all cylinders tomorrow night against Iran. There's Amjot trying to find a Rumagum along the baseline.
Now he's lost his aggressiveness, Amjot. I think he's lost his confidence in taking the outside shot, putting the ball on the floor, but instead of going to the hoop, electing to pass. Pass was deflected. It's not been that kind of night for Amjot.
And that's, I guess, the next step for him. He's just signed for his first year as a professional in Japan. As Shinde fires from the corner. Nice looking 3-point shot from Shinde. And he takes India up to 58. China now just a 3-point basket away from reaching the ton. And they're up against a 2-3 zone here. Lee Gun looking dangerous on the right wing. Oh, look at Go Ai-lun. He draws the foul
From Shinde.
And I think he just loves it when a defender comes out to guard him. He's like, right, have I shown you my handles yet? Have a look at these.
What a display of dexterity. And he's been very impressive in the way, not just dribbling the basketball, but in the way he controls the game for China. If he wants a speed game, or if he wants a control game, he gets the ball in the hands of the big guys for high percentage shots.
He also has that rare mix where he can play at high pace but still be under control and make that decision. Am I going myself? Am I dishing off? Or am I just going to pull it out?
I think you really have to be impressed.
Oh, nice pass. Oh, Amjot with a sweet dish. His teammates couldn't replicate it. And Wong Chae-lin replicates a number of his teammates tonight who have thrown one in through the hoop.
And we were just talking about Go's ability to find the big guy for the high percentage shot. exemplified by that execution. And you know, you're impressed not by Go Ailun, but I think you're impressed with Coach Gong Lu Min, as he is able to give his players an opportunity to shine on this stage.
China have won just one of the last 4 FIBA Asia Championships. That was in Wuhan in China 4 years ago when they squeaked past a tap ball when Coach Jordan in the final. They've played like they've had some expectations on their shoulders in that time. Zhao Tailong finally gets a 3 to go, but this tournament they've played like a unit that fully believes in what Gong Lu Ming wants them to do. They believe in the identity he's brought to the team. There's 6 players aged under 22, or 22 and under, I should say, as Shindae fires and misses. 15 seconds till the end of this one. After a tense first 5 minutes, it's been all China. They've outscored India 96 to 51 since that time. They were led early on by the brilliance of Yi Jianlian. He finished with 21 points. Jai Xiaochun had 15, Zhou Peng with 13, Guo Ailun with 11, and a whole other host of contributors. As we see the players exchange pleasantries, but it was China who were far too good tonight. They move on to play Iran in the semi-finals. It wasn't a semi-final many predicted, but it's the one we've got. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night. It'll be an absolute beauty. Tonight it was China, far too good. They win this one, 104 to 58.
Well, you described this performance by China as masterful. It was domination on both ends of the floor. And Go Ailun, we expected him to take charge, and take charge he did. Finishing the contest on the floor, and a lot of highlight plays during the game, a lot of dunks, a lot of tremendous splashes from beyond the arc. Yi Jianliang, when he was on the floor, he was just simply unstoppable.
And powerful. I think that may have been the play of the night when he dunked it on the 207-centimetre Amritpal Singh. Singh tried to get his own back, he missed, and Jai Xiaochun said, I dished up the last one to Yi, I'm going to throw this one down myself. There's the look on Amjot Singh, which summed it all up.
And then the swipe coming from Zhao Jiwei.
Zhou Peng was a standout. Li Gun had his moments from long range.
That's right.
He loves that celebration.
Yeah, that's a trademark. When he motions the 3 and then thumps his chest. He had 3 3-point connections in this game.
There we
Yi
see
Jianliang.
Guo feeding Yi Jianlian as he has done so many times this tournament. I referred to it earlier as the future of Chinese basketball, but the present is a semi-final berth against Iran. China shot the ball extremely well all game long, particularly in the first quarter where they missed just 3 shots. They missed just 8 in the second quarter to effectively wrap this game up by halftime. We look at the boards, well, relatively even, but the turnovers, 21 turnovers to India.
Well, very impressive also in the passing ability of China. They show their potential as a team that keeps the ball moving. 26 assists in this game. Brugovanshi with 22 points. Amjot Singh was just not in his element in this game. Offensively, he was a disappearing act.
Brugovanshi with 22 points. He was the standout. It was an excellent performance from him. Yadwinda Singh with 16 as well. His best evening of the tournament. Amjot with 7 boards. Yadwinda with 5, which was another standout in his performance. But China were far too good tonight.
Okay.
Stand by.
Mic check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good.